So first of all, Happy New Year to everybody. I wish you all a happy, healthy, and fun 2020. In the coming year, I plan to use LinkedIn Live a lot more. And whether or not anyone's listening to me, it's a good way of getting my own thoughts and plans in order. So what am I up to in January? Well, I'm here at CES this week. And believe it or not, even though I've spent, 3 decades in the IT industry, this is the first time I've ever been at CES. So I'm looking forward to it. I hear it's manic. Now, in this LinkedIn Live, what I want to do is give you a quick update. Okay, why am I here at CES and what am I up to? Quick update on transparency. Who am I doing what for? And what are the plans, or my plans for the rest of January? Because I'm staying on in the US and going off doing a couple of other things. So I want to give you quick updates on that. And of course, as I'm here at CES, I'll be looking at all the new different technologies. And I'll see how that plays into some of the predictions I had for the energy transition in 2020. Right, so why am I here at CES? Well, I'm all set, got my badge and everything. As I said, even though I've been in the IT industry for almost 30 years, I was never at CES. So I wanted to come along and see what all the hype is about, and obviously see what all the hype is this year in terms of new technologies, because the whole blurring between consumer and enterprise and whatever has gone away. So I'm going to be here for the week, and obviously I'll be looking a lot at, I suppose what some people would look at is the gadgets, and gadgets that would apply to an industrial workforce or the energy transition. So everything around AR, VR, drones, artificial intelligence, so robotics, wearables. But also what's interesting this year is that, and it's been happening for the last couple of years, you've seen a lot of the electric vehicle folks are here, but there's more and more of what I would call the energy companies coming along. And this week I'll be chatting with Siemens are here, FPT Industrial are here with their hydrogen engines, Itron Labs are here, Realware, Chargeify, the list goes on and on. It's a big event. Now, straight up front, I'm here at CES basically at my own cost. I am not here on a paid engagement with any company. Now, I've reached out to many companies and they've reached out to me when they heard I was here. So I've arranged meetings and I'll be doing some videos and chats and finding out what's going on with the likes with Siemens Mobility, FPT, Realware, Itron, Chargeify, and a bunch of others. Dropping by to see what Intel are up to, what are all the computer guys doing, what's Google, what's going on with Amazon Home, you name it, all the voice assistants. So it is kind of like a kid in a candy box. Now, my wife is also here. My wife was here last year, Ines. Her business is all around wellness. So she's looking at all the wellness and, if you like, the health technology that's here. So things like the Oura Ring that my wife gave me, whatever, about 12 months ago. And these things are quite interesting in terms of how it tracks your wellness, sleep patterns, exercise, and. And you see a lot more of that coming into the industrial workplace as well. So again, I want to see what's going on. Now, as I said, I'll be looking at all those kind of gadgets, but I want to, I don't know what I don't know. So I'm convinced there's going to be a lot of stuff that I'll be walking around going, okay, never thought of that. That's cool. And I'm sure some of them will be kind of outlandish, but then again, a lot of the things will be, who knows what's going to stick in the market and what comes into the energy industry as such. One of the things I'll also be doing a lot of looking at is 5G. Now, I honestly believe 5G will revolutionize the way communications happen, but I'm a bit skeptical. I don't think it's happening in 2020. I don't think it's happening before 2022, 23, 24, 25. Because if you look back at the way, it's really only in the last year that we've started to get the whole Internet of Things promise coming together. People have been collecting data from devices and they've been struggling away with wired networks and wireless and near field communications and. But that's starting to come together. And they're now starting to get what you call the dark data. So they've collected the data and they're now starting to look at it. And that's what I've seen, say, at European Utility Week, at PowerGen, at all the events last year. So at the end of last year, when I was asked what did I think of 2019, I was going, there's not a lot of mega hype around anything, even blockchain or whatever, all that's died away, thank God. But people are just using the technology and joining the dots. But I'm curious to see what the mood in the industry is around 5G. Still a lot of hype, as I say. I'm a bit skeptical. I believe it's coming, but it's not this year. But we'll see. Now, one of the other things in terms of, I suppose, my predictions, and it was back at the end of, it was at European Utility Week. I met up with the guys from Smart Energy International. They asked me, what was I hoping for 2020 at the energy transition? And my main comment was, I hope somebody makes a decision. And what I mean by that is I'm hoping more and more corporates and individuals start deciding for themselves that they're going to do something around the climate crisis that we're in, and looking to change their fuel mix, looking to change the way they use, they consume, they generate energy. And I think that's going to continue. And in the European Union, we have the EU Green Deal, obviously a whole election year over here in the US. Let's see how that plays out. But I'm hoping people start to make more and more decisions and just do something. We'll all argue about what technology is best and mine's better than yours and whatever, but somebody make a decision and just move on. So that was one of the first things. So I want to see what CES does to that thinking. Second one was, it was in a Smart Energy International webinar before Christmas. Again, I was on with Thorsten Heller from Greenbird and Jen from DistriBUTECH and a couple of more folks. And we were chatting about, well, what do we think are the things I'll be looking out for, particularly for 2020. And there was three things that I called out. They're fairly specific. One was around energy storage technologies, and not just everything to do with digital, but look at chemical, mechanical, you name it, right? There's a lot of stuff going on. So I do think 2020 is going to see a lot more commercial deployments and a lot more investment. Link that back into the whole EU new green financing rules and stuff. I think there'll be more money coming into energy storage, all sorts of technologies, from batteries to storing energy for the Ruhr Valley for 6 months. The second one that I had called out was around the whole social awareness, as people are becoming more and more aware, and you had the whole Friday for Futures and. People are saying, oh, look, we can't wait for somebody else to make a decision. We just start doing stuff ourselves. And I really am curious to see how, if communities and people and the next generations and whatever start coming up with their own apps, their own ways of sharing energy. And you'd say, yeah, but that needs a lot of infrastructure. But there's a lot of stuff kind of falling into place. If you look at the energy communities and some of the regulations that are very slow, but let's see how that accelerates. And things like distributed applications that are built on blockchain. You know, like, oh God, he's talking about blockchain again. But blockchain hasn't gone away. There's actually a good bit of stuff around blockchain here at CES under the covers. And you see that DistriBUTECH as well at the end of the month. But supposing people start developing their own energy sharing platforms within the community, and cities and mayors and whatever start saying, yeah, we're going to do this. I don't care about the big grand plan. We're just going to start doing that. So that's something that I'm quite curious about. And the other thing, and I think it'll play in here at CES as well, was I called out, there is a bit of technology fatigue. It's like, ah, God, more technology. You know, we haven't even got our heads around the stuff that was there last year. Now there's new stuff coming. And it's hard. How do we keep up? And we don't have endless budgets and we don't have endless people. And linked to that, kind of a tech backlash. You know, do I trust the technology companies anymore? And going forward, do I trust the AI? So you're selling me this black box of software that will manage my renewable energy farm or my grid or my house or whatever. But you won't tell me how it works. Do I trust it? So, and here at CES, I wonder what, you know, there's a lot of sessions around privacy and trust in the energy industry, etc. So I'd be curious to see how that plays out, because at the end of the day, we're all consumers, whether you're in the energy industry or whatever. We all come back to being individual human people. So who do I trust with my data? So that's going to be interesting. And then the last thing around predictions was, it was with Caroline at Ingerati. She'd asked me, what do I think about digitalization in 2020? And I said, this was my key takeaway there, was that as cool as all the technology is, people are getting stuff done, you know, getting technology to do what you want and digitalizing, especially in the energy industry, digitalizing your energy company, you need people. You need people that are motivated and people with the right skills. But you also need the people that have the skills today, because what we're starting to see a lot as well is a bit of frustration where people, they buy all the latest technology, they install all the latest software, they turn it all on, and they don't know what to do with it. Because the guys and girls that were running the grid and who have the expert knowledge that's built up over 30, 40 years, they've been retiring. And they're not plugging that information into the expert systems, as we used to call them, you know, the AI of the future, and all the different types of AI, deep learning, you name it. So that's going to be interesting. How does the energy industry keep, motivate, or compete for the skills that it needs in 2020? Now, again, coming out of CES and DistriBUTECH at the end of the month, I'll see how my predictions are playing out, whether you agree or not. But they were just some of the things that I called out. And I don't see the energy transition slowing down. If anything, it's just going to accelerate with what's been going on in the world in the past 6, 9, even in the, over the Christmas period. See some of the stuff going on in the world. We just got to change stuff. Now, after CES, I'm staying on here in the US, and we're actually going on a bit of a road trip through Nevada over into California. I'm going to visit some energy facilities along the way, because if you know, they have a lot of stuff here. There's hydro, there's solar, there's concentrated solar, there's wind farms, there's nuclear, there's lots of energy storage facilities, you name it. So I'm going to have a wander around and chat to some folks at these facilities to see what's going on. And I'll end up down in Silicon Valley, meet up with some folks there, and again, get to see what some of the companies, what are the individuals, and what are folks going on over, what's going on over here on this side of the pond, because I'm usually pretty familiar with what's going on in Europe. And then finally, at the end of January, I'm heading over to DistriBUTECH 2020 over in San Antonio. Thanks to Clarion Energy, I'm there again this year as one of their influencers. So I'll be looking at all the latest and greatest. You'll see a lot of stuff online over the next couple of weeks in terms of as we build up to DistriBUTECH. Now at DistriBUTECH, I will have some paid engagements with a couple of companies. That's all going to be announced over the next couple of weeks. Again, that's for transparency, because you might have seen some of the stuff I was doing before Christmas or over Christmas, you know, chatting with Analytica and stuff. Transparency is becoming more and more important. There's new FCC rules coming out here. There's tightening up on some of the rules and regulations in Europe, which is all a good thing. Because again, someone like me, you're kind of going, well, why is he seeing this? Now, at CES this week, nobody's paying me to do anything. So whatever I'm doing this week is me being me. And as I don't know what I don't know, I'll be off, what do you call it, falling over stuff that I'd never even thought of, and kind of going, oh, that's cool, what's this? So you'll probably see some of that stuff this week. Anyway, that's what I'm up to here at CES. Now, if you're here, or if you know of some company that's here and they've got a new technology or an idea or an innovation that you think is pretty interesting for the energy transition or anything that we do around oil and gas, utilities. As I say, I don't know what I don't know. So drop me a mail, connect with me on LinkedIn. I'll be posting a lot of stuff on YouTube or whatever. So reach out to me and just let me know, hey, check this out, or drop by this, or we'll meet up or whatever. So it's going to be a busy week. Actually, it's going to be a busy month. So looking forward to it. And 2020 begun.